Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's finally time to start working on the 1K giveaway knife. I'll be doing the handle material and Enzo will be finishing up on the blade. You saw this knife a while back on a short. I just haven't had time to get to it, but I'm going to start tonight. And yep, that's the one. So this is the ESEE Churp in D2 with that white handle. Still a cool looking knife. We are going to do some work to it. So I wanted to explain what I'm going to be doing this evening. I'm going to be dyeing these handle scales. So the first thing I need to do is take them off. I have my Kershaw driver set here, T6. So let's get this thing disassembled. Originally, I was thinking about going with this blue color right here, but after a recent knife that Enzo did in green, I've been feeling the green, so I think, actually I know because I just went over and put it on the stove to heat up in the can, I'm going to be doing this peacock green. It's actually darker than what I would think of when thinking of the word peacock. So I don't know why it's called that color, but you know, I didn't pick the name. So let's get this disassembled. Alright, so fun fact, those two are Loctited in so well, I cannot break them. Looks like I'm going to be dyeing these with the liners on. I can still get my hanger through there and get these dyed. So there'll just be a little bit of knot coverage on the back of both, but other than that, they will still be fully covered. I need to clean them again because I have some oily fingerprints on them while trying to break those. Those would not break, so that's some good Loctite. Good job, ESEE. Alright, so as you can see, we are steaming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip these in and pretty much just submerge them completely and then slowly start to pull them out as evenly as possible to get that faded look. The line fade, I should say, rather. Alright, wish us luck. Here we go. Make sure. Yeah, those will go all the way. Alright. Just wanted to check before we got started. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, no fade showing up just yet, because I kind of like where the top 2/3 are at. So if I can get the bottom third just a little bit darker, a little bit more of a transition, we'll be sitting pretty good. Now this is how I did my R2-D2 as well, but I didn't bob it up and down, we'll say, and it really made a distinct line. And so that's why you see me doing this. I'm trying to keep from getting a distinct line between the shades. I mean, the R2-D2 still looks great, but when looking at it up close, you can definitely see a line. So I'm trying to keep from getting such a harsh line with this knife, because hopefully one of you all will have it and show it off, display it on Instagram for us to see. So a few more seconds, and then we'll take it out, wash it off again, and see what the final product looks like. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and oh my goodness, I couldn't be any more proud of myself. Light green to dark green, no real harsh fade lines. Maybe once I get a picture of this in the daytime, this will show up better. but this is a very, very light green. Almost, you can still see some of the white through it. It's so light, but down here, it's super dark. Oh, okay, just holding it like that's a better transition. You can see how dark it is here versus how much lighter it is here. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. I think this is going to be pretty dope overall. So I really hope that whoever wins this carries it with pride. His pride! With all the from all the work that we're putting into this. So, all right, I'll see you all tomorrow night. Actually, I'm going to have a little victory celebration here for how well that turned out. Here's to you, and here's to me. And here's to the sponsor of tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Man, that'd be great. High West. If you're ever looking to sponsor somebody, we are your guys. I know you probably won't, but
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
So yeah. All right, I'm turning in. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Well, that's right. No, you don't need to adjust your settings. You're not seeing double. There actually is two. Because I screwed up. So I had to go back. I screwed up trying to do something to this. I'm not going to show you the other side. Then I tried to fix it. And that didn't work either. So we started over. So I'm going to package these back up. And I'm going to quickly run them over to Enzo's house before I mess anything else up. And we'll let the pro take over. We've discussed kind of what he's going to do to the blade, but I don't know what the finished product's going to look like. He has free reign to do whatever he'd like, and he has two blades to do it on now. So, I'm going to turn it over to him and let his genius flow.
All right, guys, 2 ESEE boxes. Anybody want to take a guess what is in here? You may already know if you've handled this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. Ooh, it's the Chirp. Gotta love that name. Check out that fade die. That is courtesy of Mr. Wolfman Walsh. And what we're doing with these is we are going to be giving at least one of these away. I'd like to give them both away. I need to talk to Walsh about that. But for our 1,000 subscriber sort of hoopla, we're getting closer to 1K here. We're going to mod these up and give them away. And like I said, Walsh already did a fade die here, and he also lasered engraved our logo on there, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, these are cool little knives. This is my first time handling the Chirp, even though I had heard about it. They are Chinese produced, but the quality's good. Blade steel's D2. There's no lock rock, no blade plate, nothing like that. Operating on bearings, so it's a very nice close with that big traditional liner lock there. It's pretty interesting what they did here. So obviously this is our secondary Chirp. But as for what else we're going to do, so we're going to disassemble these bad boys. We are going to take those blades out and we are going to acid stone wash them. I'm going to do a little bit of rock carving on the top. That'll look really cool. Probably leave the liners satin, but I will go ahead and stone wash the blade as well. So acid stone wash blade, carved acid stone washed, good grief. Acid stone wash clip, carved acid stone wash blade. There we go. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's take this thing apart. Great, so everything is disassembled and we are ready to rock and roll here. So let's take those blades first and foremost, and we're gonna go, what we're gonna do first, we're going to carve these blades first, and then we'll acid wash, stone wash, and resharpen. That's what we're gonna do. Let's get to it. Right here, as you can see, I'm working my way down the spine of the blade with the Dremel here with a medium grit barrel on there, and just kind of altering my sanding direction with every pass, so the texture of the rock carving looks different as you work your way down the blade. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do, especially when you're doing something randomized like this. Here I'm just using a Sharpie to mask off the contact surfaces of where the blade meets other parts of the knife. In this case, we're going to mask off where the bearings meet the steel of the blade, just to make sure that we don't allow the acid to eat away anything in those areas, because we want it to lock up at the lock face properly, so we're going to mask the lock face. We want the bearings to interact between the liners and the blade properly, so we're going to mask the bearing race. And I believe those are the only two spots we had to hit here, the lock face and the bearings race, as well as the detent ball. Yes, where the detent ball socket, where it drops into place on the blade, we do mask that as well. All right, about to dip the blades in our acid mixture. That is a mixture of ferric chloride and water. I use a 1-to-1 ratio. You can see the blades here. I'm going to dip them at the same time. Always want to be careful when you're doing that. Make sure you have enough space on the device that you're using to dip the blades for both of them to be on there together but not overlap each other or touch each other. If you let them touch each other, it can mess up the finish on one or the other of the blades. So yeah, be careful with that. As you can see here, I have kind of a really jury-rigged system here, but it works. I keep the acid inside this larger bucket just to prevent any accidents with spillage. And then on the outer section outside the bucket, I have a baking soda to neutralize the acid.
5 minutes later.
Now we're going to start the stone washing process here. So what I've got is a old Yeti cup, a coffee cup that I don't use anymore, and it's perfect for this job because you want something metal, something durable that you can just really shake around. So this is the perfect tumbler. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the blades from the hanger, and we're just going to drop them straight into the tumbler. Inside the tumbler I've got ceramic media and soap and water. And so we're just going to shake the ever-loving heck out of this thing, and by the time we're done, we'll have a nice aggressive stone wash. Now we're going to repeat the same process for the pocket clips. Nothing too different here. These will be a little bit easier because we don't have to resharpen them, but just going to dip those in the acid mixture, and then it'll be right into the stone wash tumbler, and I think that's going to complete our look as far as modifying parts goes. All right, y'all, we are back. Let's take a closer look at all of these finished parts here. This is our main blade, and as you can see, the laser engraving that Walsh put on there is kind of faded away. I think it works well with the acid stone wash and kind of the destructive effect that that finish has. Pretty happy with how that turned out. Our other blade I think we're going to keep as just kind of a channel keepsake, if you will, just a memento that we hit 1K. So yeah, nice finish on this one as well. Really happy with how they both turned out. All that's left to do is sharpen these. As you can see, the rock carving looks fantastic. Really happy with that. So up next here, let's take a closer look at the pocket clips. This one has a little bit of a lighter spot up there by the screws, so we're going to keep that one on our keeping blade that we're keeping for ourselves. The other one, however, is going to be perfect for the giveaway knife. Really happy with how both of these finishes turned out. It's going to look so cool when we get this thing back together, so let's do it.
Oh my Lord.
All right, y'all, here's a closer look at our giveaway ESEE Churp. Really happy with this, man. This looks so cool. I gotta hand it to Walsh for that fade dye. I just think it looks fantastic. I'm really pleased with it. I'm also happy with how the finishes came out on the pocket clip, as we can see here. Looks really cool. I'm a fan of big old honking pocket clips. I don't know if y'all are, but I've always loved an oversized pocket clip. But let's have a look at the blade here. Little nail nick to deploy right there. And it comes out very readily on those bearings. And very stoked on how this came out. I just think this blade looks awesome. I've resharpened it now. We got a nice sharp edge on there. Look at that rock carve. That looks fantastic. Here it is from the other side. You can see very faintly, you can see our text on there that says Knox Knife Mods. I think that works really well. It's not over the top. It's not screaming at you, but it's there, so that's cool. So you'll remember who you got a free blade from. But yeah, I'm just stoked on this. I really like the presence of this knife. I like what it's just a strange knife in a lot of ways, and I mean that in the best way possible. I'm a fan of odd knives, and I feel like the Churp is a little odd. It's cool that it has the ESEE history behind it, the sense of ruggedness and toughness that ESEE has been associated with. But in this case, it's a strange little small knife that kind of in many ways resembles a pattern that you'd see on like a slip joint or something. And it has a large locking leaf like you would see on a locking traditional knife. These big, large liner locks. I just think it looks really neat. That blade shape is very useful. It's pretty much belly, just all the way up. And blade steel, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is D2, and that D2 is always a good steel to be using. Hard steel, holds a great edge. And in my experience, I don't have too much trouble sharpening D2. I know some people have complained about it, but for me, it sharpens great. But yeah, guys, that's a closer look at it. Stay tuned. We're going to have a subsequent video that's going to go into how you can win this knife in our giveaway. And yeah, I hope you guys are stoked as stoked as we are. Gosh, I love that finish. All right, guys. Well, a big thank you for watching from myself, Enzo, and from Wolfman Walsh. And we will see you guys in the next one. Until then, be well, take it easy, take care of yourselves, and we will see you then.